Hey Cultural Foods class, it's me Dave, and my project is on the country France. So we all know all the French people hate Americans for some odd reason, I don't know what, the French people are very smelly, but they do make really good food. And today we're going to make pan-seared trout with a brown butter sauce. Let's go through our ingredients. First, we have our lake trout cut into fillets, deboned. We have our salt and pepper to season them. We have our butter cubed up for the sauce, and also lemons. Like I said, very easy to make, very simple, and it's very cheap. Let's go check out our equipment. The ingredients we're going to need today is a pan and a whisk for our sauce, and also for brown butter sauce you want a stainless steel pan or aluminum, something that's not dark, because when the butter starts turning colors you'll be able to tell better and you won't ruin your sauce if you don't burn it. For our fish, we're going to need a fish spatula to flip it, and also a pan for the fish. What works best is a black steel pan because it's pretty much non-stick and it distributes the heat extremely evenly, and they're just really quality pans, but I do not have such a pan, so I'm using a non-stick pan today. Start by heating up your pans. For the fish, you're going to do it first, so I suggest putting a little clarified butter in the pan because it's got a very high smoke point and it helps with presentation and flavor a lot. If you're a calorie counter, so what? It's French food. If you're not eating a stick of butter a day, you're not French. Anyways, I bought this trout at Butera. I bought it, it's wild, not farm raised, and most people don't know the difference, but farm raised fish are basically raised in a very cramped environment. They eat their own feces, they're pumped with steroids and antibiotics, and it's bad for the environment. So I choose wild caught fish, and they cost a little bit more, but that's a choice that I like to make. So you're going to put it down presentation side first, and you can do it skin side or flesh side first, whichever one you want crispier. Personally, I want skin side first. So put it down. And now you're not going to touch it to get that really nice sear on it. And since I just touched raw fish, I'm going to go wash my hands. Next, we're going to start our beurre noir sauce, or brown butter, depending if you want French or American. So basically, we're going to put the butter in the pan and start whisking it immediately. Because you're going to start, the milk fats have to be emulsified with the butter in order for them to start browning evenly and not separate. And you have to keep paying attention to it, you have to work with it. You never take your eyes off the brown butter sauce, because if you do, it's not going to be good. Typically, using a flame stove would be ideal because you can take it off the heat, on the heat, and it's still doable, but of course I have an electric stove, so just going to have to make do. So we start whisking it, the milk solids will come to the top, they'll look white. You just keep moving it around, and don't whisk it too hard because the metal on metal action will make it gray and it'll make your sauce a lot less desirable. So keep moving it around, adjust your heat a little bit, make sure it's bubbling, and you're going to start smelling cooking butter pretty much. And basically the theory behind this is once the milk butters start browning, you're going to get this nutty flavor, nutty smell. And also the sauce is going to thicken a little bit too. So we keep moving it, and I mean this classical French, just a butter sauce. And French have butter sauces for breakfast, hollandaise, you know, on Eggs Benedict, and they have butter sauces for different meals. They have beurre blanc, which is a white butter sauce made with white wine and shallots. They have beurre noir, which is brown butter sauce that I'm making, and they also have a black butter sauce, which is very bitter. They don't use it much, but I mean it's awful. So, but as you're doing this, it should not take very long. If it does, just keep cooking it. It's also going to start to thicken up, which makes it easier to pour on pans and food and stuff. But your fish should be almost done by the time this starts turning brown. And the important thing that we're going to do at the end of this is we're going to shock it with lemon juice, because if you just put it in a container and leave it there, it's going to start cooking. And it's going to start cooking more, it's going to turn more brown, more brown, more brown, and eventually you're going to get that bitter, undesirable flavor, and it's going to ruin, you're going to have to start all over again. Also, when you're doing brown butter sauce, it's easier to do it in large quantities because the reaction happens a lot slower and you can control the heat more on your pan. So if you're doing it just with a little bit of butter, you really got to keep an eye on it. But if you're doing it with higher quantity, it's easier to keep an eye on it and it's easier to do a better job with your cooking. Also, you can see the fish here. Maybe you can't see it, but the bottom, you can tell that the skin is getting real crispy and real brown. It's starting to smell real nice. Once the white starts creeping farther and farther up, you're going to know it's just about time to flip it. You're going to flip it right when it's pretty much all the way done. And you're going to, you just flip it to finish it and you get a nice presentation on it. And depending on which side you want to put on the plate, I mean, it's your personal preference. So you can see the butter, the bubbles went from small bubbles to larger bubbles. And this is a good indication that the milk solids are incorporated and you're starting to get the actual reaction of browning them. So keep adjusting your heat, make sure it's not burning. Keep moving it, keep moving it. As you can see, like I'm moving the pan and the whisk. And if you keep moving it, chances are you're going to get a good butter sauce. As you can see, the butter is turning brown. We got the bubbles on top, we're good. This is pretty much done. It's a little bit thicker than regular butter. So what we're going to do, we're going to take it over to this table over here, and we're going to shock it with some lemon juice. So now, when you shock it with this lemon juice, you can hear it sizzling a little bit, and that's a good indication that the temperature is stopping with the brown butter sauce, and you're getting a little bit of flavor, the aromatic properties, and your brown butter sauce is done. You can hold it warm. This is what your trout should look like when it's just about ready to be flipped. So let's flip it and check out nice and crispy skin. As you can see, the edges are the sharpest. They got the most brown on them, and your fish is seconds away from being done. You just leave it on here a little bit. You can pretty much turn off the heat, and you're ready to eat pretty much. Now our fish is cooked. It's all done. Your brown butter sauce is on the table. Spoon as much or as little as you want, or just don't eat brown butter sauce if you want to be healthy. But there you go, your French meal, pan-seared trout with beurre noir, and under 10 minutes.